Because I'll tell you, I had a situation where I was doing my normal lean in thing. This was like, going on maybe 15 years ago, 14 years ago. I was doing my normal lean in with a colleague at work. I helped her even get hired, right? Mm-hmm. And that situation turned into a long-term stalker. Like, this is someone who, I thought we were going to be at the very minimum great colleagues, potentially friends, and it morphed into something totally different. And welcome back to Bloom, Build, Birth, the podcast for women who are over 35, over 40, over 50. Hey, we are going through these chapters and these challenges together, going through womanhood together during these seasons of life when things get very interesting, but also very good. And I think it's important that we talk with each other about the good, the bad, the ups and the downs, and getting different perspectives from different women, their life experiences, which is going to help us all improve things for us. So today I am very excited to talk with Dr. Stephania Shine. We're going to talk about her personal journey, what has shaped her experiences and challenged her and refined her really. And we're going to move through all three phases of what we talk about here: the blooming, the building, the birthing, and all of that and what it means for each one of us. So Dr. Stephania, I want to get right to it because I'm thrilled to have you here. I'm so glad that you were willing to join me as we're these early days of shooting in the gym and building and really connecting with women from different perspectives and lived experiences. I want to know, you speak so beautifully about shining, right? To play on your last name. What in the world do you think a woman is thinking about when it comes to shining in her 40s and 50s? I think the world has told us to shrink and to become less in our 40s and 50s. What should we be shining about? Why should we be shining at this stage?
Well, 40s and 50 to me, has been amazing. After 40, was like, okay, I'm here. It was a good place. Yeah. And then 50, really great. But here's the thing.
I mean, you look like you're 17, so I don't know. I'm not even sure that
you very much. But here's the thing about shining through every stage, being the best you, showing up in every stage. Because let me tell you something, things about 40s, 50s, for me, 50, when the menopause comes. You know what I'm saying? Some people get it early, but you change. You have to come to terms with you not being the same anymore. You're in a new body, a new mindset. Yes. All things are different. And being able to shine through that was very difficult because we wanted to be in the same bodies we were in when we was in our 30s, because we were in our best shape and we look good and we this and our hair and this and that, and learning to embrace the new you, the post kids gone, to college, the after, divorce or breakups or whatever the change is, understanding that it's all a part of who you are. And you shine through it. You I'm just going to keep showing up. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it, but I'm going to still show up. And when you show up, that's the shine right there.
That is so true. And I know you talk about in your work as a coach and as an author and a speaker and someone who really dedicates your focus on women and this stage of our lives. When it comes to faith and healing and personal growth, what are some things that have, to the woman who's listening to you, going through the things that you talked about, whether it be relationship challenges or an empty nest or figuring out this next phase of her career, where do we start? Where do we kind of get the start and figure out what does this chapter mean for us as we're also navigating all these other life transformations and transitions?
Well, you know what? First of all, I feel like emotional intelligence plays a huge part in it. I am a huge proponent of self-awareness. A lot of times we can't navigate that next level. We can't make the shift because we got to do some reality checks. We got to do some checks and balances. We have to take the life we thought we were supposed to have and how it was supposed to look. And then we got to take the real one and we got to put it together and see where we are for real. I think
Be
that
honest with ourselves, right?
you
Be honest
gotta,
with your experience.
listen, get it. That's the biggest thing right there, because as women, we're so led by emotions a lot of the time till
Mhm.
we're living in a form of delusion.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so the first thing we have to do is take accountability for wherever we find ourselves, whether it's for whatever reason, whether it's through not making the best decisions or just whatever it is, taking accountability. And
Yeah.
that's where you start, because until you do that, if you keep going and you haven't reconciled,
Mhm.
what you thought, what has already happened with where you're trying to go, you're going to just keep going in this circle, and it's going to be everybody's fault, and you can't get it together because, had he stayed or she wouldn't have done this and that. And so the first thing is
Yeah.
self-awareness.
Yeah. That's so true. And I love that you talk about your own rescue, not looking externally for someone to come and get you, because y'all ain't
No,
nobody coming.
nobody,
Nobody's coming.
nobody.
I do think we have people along the way who help us and
Yeah.
support us. We need community. But when it comes to the hard work, it's an
Hmm.
inside job, right?
You got to do the work. And the
Yeah.
beautiful thing about it is, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was telling them that I needed to talk to somebody, confront them, because I'm working on I'm very non-confrontational, right? And
Mhm.
so I'm the type of person that I would be like, you know what? It's easier for me just not to talk to that person more. They know what
Mm.
they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like people when you confront people, they're not going to accept it. It's just going to go back and forth. It's just not going to go well. But
Mhm.
I'm growing, and I was telling them that I was going to talk to somebody, and they was like,
Yeah.
"Why? They're not going to take accountability. They're not going to this." I said, "No, that's the problem." I said, "I'm not telling them for
Mhm.
them to do something different. I'm telling them so they'll know why I'm doing something different."
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I have to participate in my own. This is about me. It's not even about you, you
Yeah.
know. And that's the thing.
You talk about the difference between surviving and healing. That to me is the difference. You can
Hmm.
survive through a relationship or a friendship breakup or survive through a toxic work environment, but you're not going to be able to heal in that relationship. You're not going to be able to grow even in that situation. And so, or when you do that, what do you feel is the difference for you internally between not confronting it and actually saying, this is what I felt, this is how I experienced you, even if they don't receive it well?
Well, like I said, up to a certain point, I always had a hard time. My therapist told me one day, they said, when you don't confront and when you don't tell people how you feel, what you're saying is your feelings mean more to me than my own. And I'm
Girl.
like, oh, wow. Okay, because you're putting somebody else's feelings. Oh, I'm not gonna. Oh, they're gonna take it on this and that. And when
Yeah.
I learned to say, you know what, it doesn't matter
Hmm.
what they think, because this is about my personal growth. This is how I'm going to be able to go forth and heal,
Yeah.
because this is about my journey and my healing and me becoming a better version of myself. And maybe part of my downfall is because I don't know how to confront, I don't give the other person an opportunity to even be better, because I'm never going to tell them what was wrong.
Yeah. You know what I love the most about that part? And I'm so glad that you shared that, because you didn't have to share that with us, right? I'm glad that you did, because I think it's important for us to know that you can be and should be, frankly, in your 40s, in your 50s, beyond, still
Mhm.
learning, still growing. We often think, and I talk about this with my model, my framework is bloom, build, birth. And that birthing is the queen bee, right?
Mhm.
She's large and in charge, people think. And people think that that's where you want to get to and stay there, telling people what to do. That's not what the queen does. That's not what
Mm-mm.
she does. And I think it's so beautiful that even at your status, your ability, grown, right? Grown, and you still are learning. You are
Still
still
learning.
practicing something new. And I think that's a beautiful thing. To the woman who's listening who may not think that that's growth or strength, what would you say about the vulnerability of that, or the recognition, or to your point, the accountability? How can she start to kind of implement more of that into her life?
The First of all, we have to realize that putting ourselves first and choosing ourselves is not selfish. It's part of our self-care. Your feelings do matter. We spend a lot of time shrinking ourselves to make other people feel good or feel better. So then when you stop doing that, I'll say this. I have been, for the most part of my life, and people pleaser that lack boundaries. And so I'm working on that. I'm saying I didn't figure that out till I was 50 years old, right? So now I'm learning and walking through this. And now I have guilt when I exercise the boundaries. And, it's like, oh, is that too much? And you see what I'm saying? So it's still a process, but you got to do it because we're constantly becoming. I'll be 58 this year, right? And I'm still becoming and processing and going. So it's never a place. It's like, oh, by the time you hit 50, it should be this. You think that. But what happens is it's still people around you that has not caught up to that. And so they're constantly causing you to keep growing because it's like, oh my God, I thought by the time I got to 50, everybody in my circle will be good. And you're still having issues with women. People are still struggling with their identity and who they are. And so I'm like, oh, I can't help all of these people. But what I can do is make sure I become the best version of me. And listen, even when people do things that I don't like, I take responsibility. You know what I say? When somebody does something to me, if I tell you something and you go and you tell my business and you repeat it, I'm not even mad at you. You know what I say? My lesson is, I should have known better. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we're not paying attention to the room. Sometimes we're oversharing. We're oversharing with a person that just isn't there. It's not that they don't want to be happy for you. They can't.
Yes. And it's so interesting. I literally was thinking this earlier today, thinking about these three phases and women and womanhood in general. I feel like I'm at a stage, I'll be 49 this year. I'll be 50 next year. Right. So about to turn 49 in some months. And I have lots of little sisters. I have lots of baby sisters, young women who I adore, pour into. They also pour into me. We have beautiful relationships. I really want a big sister. I want big sisters. I want more of those peer-to-peer relationships. And I love sitting at the feet of women in their 60s, 50s, 70s, to learn. Of course, I have my mother and I have my aunts, but it's a little different.
Kind of like peer thing. You want the peer part.
Right. And so have you had that experience with women in terms of sisterhood, pouring into younger women, older women, peers? How has that worked out for you? And what has that cost you? And what have you gained from it?
Well, now you're getting into my area, really getting into it, my personal thing.
I was going to say, is this a little too personal, girl?
No, it's not too personal, but it's great. Nothing's too personal.
Okay.
So let me just say this. I have had more heartbreak, more disappointment with women than I have with men. As a matter of fact, I haven't really had any with men.
I hate that. I hate to hear that.
It has been, I grew up without sisters. So I really desire sisterhood. I wanted the girlfriend thing and this and that. And I just got let down and disappointed and it has never stopped. 30s, 40s, 50s. And I thought that by 50, I'm like, okay, it's you'll try it out,
right?
It doesn't. And so in coaching, so this is going to be really weird, right? Most of my coaching clients, 98% of my coaching clients are younger women. They're women between 30 and 50, right?
Yeah.
Younger women. And I don't really coach women my age or older. The reason I don't is because what I've learned, just my personal experience, is most women my age, they are who they're going to be. Now, they'll listen, girl, that is so true. Yeah. But their life ain't going to be no different. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's I have a saying, it's easier to give birth than to revive the dead.
Oof. Yeah.
And so the younger women, they're coming because they're at a place where they want the information because they want to do something different. So you're
Mm-hmm.
not just, casting pearl among swine. They really need the structure. They really need the accountability partner. They really want it. And so I gravitate. So I have all of the little sisters and the young women. And then my daughter's 35. So a lot of her peer group, they lean on me. And so
Yeah.
I love it because I really get to see the fruits of my labor with
Yeah.
the younger women. I like my older friendships, though, the older women.
Yeah.
Like you said, the big sisters. Because let me tell you why I love the big sisters.
Mm-hmm.
There's no competition with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's love. It's I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
It's because I don't have my mom anymore. So the older women give me that auntie, that mother, that thing that I need as a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women my age, my peer group is it doesn't work for me.
I can't stand it. I hate to hear that. And I believe you 100% because I've also, throughout different phases and ages of my life had difficulty. And I think that it comes with a few things. I think when you are like, you strike me as someone in the way that you describe is very empathic, like sensitive to other feelings and people's energy and whatnot. And I feel like there are so many people who refuse to be vulnerable, flat out, don't want to be wrong, don't want to learn anything new, don't want to not know something. I went to brunch with some girlfriends last weekend and we were talking about this phenomenon of when you meet someone and they become a me too. Like everything you say, they have.
It's like competition.
Right. But even the ones who take it a step further, it's me too, but better. Like whatever you did, I did it too, but better than you.
Yeah.
More expensive than you, a better label than you, a better hotel. It's like everything
gets better. Or it's the opposite. It's like you can't be happy about your successes and where you are because now it's like because they're not there. And so you're shrinking. You just shrink to just be, not to rub people the wrong way.
Yeah. And I think because I have never, and this is going to sound, I've had someone who said, that's not true. I don't have a jealous spirit because I've never felt jealousy over another woman. Like I am proud of you and your success. I'm excited for you. I'm inspired by it, but jealousy it isn't a thing for every woman.
It's not. And you know what? That's people that are jealous. They just don't know who they are. Right. And listen, because people aren't jealous of how you look or what you have. They're jealous of who you are.
Right.
Because who you are attracts everything. Like I've never had to be jealous because everything I've ever wanted, I've always figured out I got it, And so people are jealous of that.
It's the light. Right.
It's the light. Yeah. And they can't. So it's almost like you really got an issue with God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I'm just operating.
That comparison that you're doing. Like, why? Stop doing that. Your journey is not supposed to look like hers. And also, half the time, they don't even know your journey. They don't even know the L's that you have to take to get to where you are.
They don't. And I go back to being young and how I know how I became a people pleaser because I grew up with that. Oh, because you're cute, you think you're better, you think this, you think that, and so now you're going out of your way to make people feel comfortable with you, so they can feel comfortable with themselves, right? And it has been an exhausting life in that area. Yeah, very exhausting.
Yeah. So compared to 10 years ago, you mentioned that you thought things might look different. What are some lessons that you've picked up in the last 10 years, let's say, that you think that another woman my age or, 10 years younger than me even might feel they can gain or apply to their lives? Like what's one lesson, one boundary even that, because I think a lot of women have that people pleasing gene and they need to turn it off. So what have you done to set some boundaries in place that have kept you safer?
I'm gonna give you one really, really good one.
Okay.
I stopped oversharing. Period.
Yeah, that's powerful. Especially for someone, because I don't know, why is that? What is the correlation between people pleasing and oversharing? It's definitely something there.
you're trying to get people to see you, and you're trying to be open, you're trying to be real. It's kind of like meeting a guy and telling him everything about your past, because you're trying to put everything on the table and show him something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're trying to do all of that.
It's like
And so
almost rushing intimacy in a way, rushing.
yeah, and for him to only later like use all of that stuff against you. You know what I'm saying? All the
Oh, yeah.
information you gave him.
Oh, yes, I know. I know exactly what you mean.
And so you're oversharing. You're going in. I did the same thing with women. You're sharing. Oh yeah, I did that too. And now they're taking that information, going back, talking about you, weaponizing your vulnerability. So yeah. And so I stopped doing it. I'm like, you're on it. Everybody's on a need to know basis.
Yes, that's powerful and simple. You know,
Yeah.
it's actually one of those measures you can take that is like you kind of sit back. You kind of sit back from the situation a bit. That's all. It's instead of leaning in, because I'm a lean in person too, right? I care a lot about people, and so it's easy for me to lean in the situation, but it requires a bit more awareness to sit back and observe.
I mean, I meet somebody, if we hit it, I'm like, girl, come on. I'm ready to open my world up. Let's do this. Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? But you're there just to take notes. You're not really there to embrace me. You're really there to kind of see what makes me tick, get in my world. But it's not authentic. And I don't know that, because I'm just like, woohoo.
Because you know what someone said to me a long time ago, and I had to remind myself this, like, not everybody is you. Not everybody has your heart. Not everybody has your intention. And even though you may not mean them any ill, you don't know what they have for you. And I tell you what, sitting back a bit has opened up my perspective on that. And I hate to have to do that, but it is true in order to be safe, even. Because I'll tell you, I had a situation where I was doing my normal lean in thing. This was like, going on maybe 15 years ago, 14 years ago. I was doing my normal lean in with a colleague at work. I helped her even get hired. And that situation turned into a long-term stalker. Like, this is someone who, I thought we were going to be at the very minimum great colleagues, potentially friends, and it morphed into something totally different. And so you got to be so careful. And that intuition, being able to pick up on when someone is not happy for you. There's, like you said, taking notes.
They're trying to see your weaknesses, or sit back and hear them, and to minimize you. So you're not as great as they created you to be. It's not like you made yourself great. So now here go all the things that make you see. I knew it.
You're not so perfect.
You're not so perfect. Like you said you were, right?
That is so true. Which, by the way, I tell you, I feel like imperfection and moving away, because that people pleasing goes with perfectionism. I think moving away from people pleasing, moving away from being a perfectionist and all of that will take years off your life, I feel, because you no longer feel like you got to like do everything and be everything for everybody and check on everybody. Like, it really does give you your time and your life back when you pour more into yourself. What are some ways that you pour into yourself and you would like to help women do that same thing?
Well, I do want women to know, first of all, it's okay to change your mind at any given moment. And so I don't care if you've been friends or in a relationship or whatever the situation is, you could 10 years, 15, 20, it doesn't matter. A lot of times we feel like we can't do something different because of the time. But I'm saying you have a right to change your mind. You have a right to say at any given time, this no longer serves me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wish we were more emotionally mature enough to really get to that place without drama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, be able to just wake up and be like, this relationship isn't good anymore. It's not good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish we could do that, because a lot of times, for you and that girl to finally go your way, you got to fall out. It got to be some drama. Some got to happen. But you knew 5 years ago, you know what I'm saying? You had that feeling. You saw, but we don't know how to do it. Nobody teaches even women how to break up. Like, what does that look like?
And you know what? It's so funny you say that. So earlier in this season, I had a friend of mine on here who's actually literally her title is a friendship consultant. Like she started
Okay.
a whole business, a whole brand around friendship and relationships and the importance of social health and having like a
Mm-hmm.
healthy social life. And in that conversation, I was sharing what someone else had told me about, to your point about the friendship breakup. Someone had shared with me, like, you don't have to cut every relationship. Some relationships you can simply untie. So maybe think about shoelaces, how I don't come home and from the gym and cut my shoes
Yeah.
off. I untie them. And
Yeah.
sometimes in a relationship, maybe there was no big transgression. There was no big betrayal. It simply is not a vibe in this phase of our lives. And so you can untie that relationship.
Yeah.
Do you know people like were really giving me all kind of grief on that? Because I did
Really?
people were like, blow the bridge up. Like, nope, cut it
Mm.
off, cut it off. Are there situations in life that you think that untying versus cutting is a better option?
You're getting ready to cross over 50. So the older you get, the more untying you want to do because life is shorter. And so you don't want the drama. You don't want the feeling of that, we were younger, I'm gonna cut her, I don't want to touch her. But it's like, you know what? I love you. We're aging. Some of us still have parents. They're aging. There's gonna be a time at this point in our lives where we may need each other. We may need to show up for each other. And I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But me and you for on an everyday thing, that part of us is over.
Yeah, I
You
get
know what I'm
that.
saying?
So it's a
But I
shift
love
in the relationship.
it's a shift. You know what I tell I you did the unlacing of the shoes. I use front row seats. And so what I do is move seats around. Some
Okay.
people have lost their front row seat. They're still in the room,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But they don't
Mm-hmm.
get front row and backstage access anymore.
Yeah, there's no
Because,
VIP.
well, no, because what happens is some people have proven they can't handle that level of access to you. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? And it's okay. You're just better up in the balcony, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. And so you still get to see.
I know exactly what you mean. And I think that
You
that's
know?
exactly right. And I love that. I love that comparison because when they have that greater access, I always talk about behavior is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to be so careful and almost surgical, really, with who has direct access to you, because whoever you're around, they're going to be impacting how you show up
Yes, they do.
on that
Yeah.
stage, right? So
Yeah.
I love that kind of seat analogy is really good.
It's not strange that even a lot of what we talked about when you talk about blooming, building, and birthing, for women, it's really about our relationships that play a big part in all three of those areas. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And when our relationships are off, whether they're love interests, whether they're with each other, it affects other
Mm-hmm.
areas. When I coach women, and we could be career stuff, shifting, start a new business, and
Yeah.
when their relationships get off, we have to put a pin there and we have to
Yeah.
go and unpack that because that's just what happens. And so healthy relationships are so important to all of the other areas of your life. And so that means that you got to do a lot of pruning, every so many years or something. You got to just look and be okay with seasons. It's nothing happened. I stopped going to look for people when I understood. With people, me and you talk every day, we're doing it. All this, I don't hear from you, right? Like, what
Yeah.
happened? Maybe I'll call you a few times. And then once through that, I figure it's intentional. And then I
Mm-hmm.
kind of go over in my head, all right, did I ever say that? I kind of think about it. And if I haven't done anything or I don't think that season was up,
Yeah. Which is
you know,
painful, right? Especially if
it
you really don't know
is.
what happened, or because you just said it, like you kind of go through and replay, like, did I say something offensive? Or
Yes.
even have one relationship, Dr. Stephania, where I know where the disruption occurred. I
Right.
know where the breakdown was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though I've apologized for that situation, even though I didn't turn out to be wrong per se, right? It may have been a difficult thing to accept, but I wasn't wrong, right? That relationship is still just, the rupture's not going to go away. You know, when it comes to acceptance, I think it's important for women, especially because you talked about it earlier, accountability. How do you forgive? Like if someone has hurt you unintentionally, right? Impact versus, intention. They didn't intend to hurt you, but they did. What is a path of forgiveness if they truly do apologize? How do you accept an apology when there has been a hurt in that relationship?
See, I don't think accepting the apology is the real hurdle. It's restoration is the hurdle.
Yeah. Okay.
It's being able to go back. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Sometimes you just can't go back, and we have to accept that.
Yeah.
It's not that your apology isn't accepted. It's just sometimes people can't go back.
Yeah.
When it's real.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because you know what? Sometimes people can say they're sorry, but sometimes I'm kind of like this, right? If you've been walking with me and we've been friends for years, I mean, we have been the good, the bad, you've been around. There's certain things you shouldn't even be able to make a mistake and do. You should know me so well that you should have known. And that's the fact that you didn't know, not that you did it is the issue. The fact that you didn't know that would be a problem.
Yeah.
It's more the issue than what you actually did.
Because you should have handled me different, right?
You should have, and you have enough intel.
That's true. That's very true. I agree with that. I think it goes back to boundaries and to your point about the removal of those seats. Sometimes the seats got to leave the room, right? Like sometimes the room is too big. We need a smaller.
The season is up, and it's okay. We're trying to hold on to expired dates. It's over. And it's okay.
I want to go into birth a little bit more. We talked about the kind of the blooming and the building a little bit without really specifically covering it. Because I want to make it clear to people who are listening, all of these phases are interconnected. You can't do one without the other. So there's no hierarchy. There's no, she's a worker bee, so she's not important. Worker bees are very important. They're critical to the health of a hive. Really, every phase is equally important. But if I had to say one was like really running the show, it's the worker bee because when they are the ones who are keeping the hive the right temperature, who are keeping the queen fed, who are keeping the flowers pollinated. And so I think it's important that we acknowledge that work phase is critical. When we move into and shift into what I think about birthing, which is expansion, which is my word for this year is expansion. We think about expansion and legacy. This is the time, I think, Dr. Stephania, where you can start to reinvent. You talked about it earlier, reinventing yourself. It's both terrifying and liberating. What has that looked like for you personally to reinvent yourself after 40 and even after 50 and after 62? I'm sure it's going to continue. What has reinvention looked like for you?
Reinvention is who I am. That has been my thing. Constantly changing and shifting and not being stuck on one thing and being one way. I embrace change.
Yeah.
I was in real estate. The real estate market changed, right? So what? Stay stuck? No, I shifted. I got into marketing. Every step along the way, I don't care if it's shifting every 3 years, every 5 years, every 10, whenever a shift is needed, I shift. Even now today, it's after COVID. It was a shift for me. It was like, okay, the world is changing. If you're not a person that embrace change and embrace shifting, you are going to be in trouble.
Yes.
I keep moving. I just keep moving and it's shifting. I knew that I never wanted to be like a person that work a job for 30 years and retire. And that wasn't me. Yeah. So in order to stay on my entrepreneurship journey, I knew that I had to be a person that could embrace change.
Yeah. So what are you birthing right now? What's kind of coming up for you and what are you creating?
I am so excited. I just finished writing a book.
Oh, congratulations.
When I tell you, I am so excited about this book. The title is Girl, Read Your Bible.
Okay, yes.
It's for the culture. It is, I'll be sending you an advanced copy of it.
Yes.
This is
Thank
going to
you.
be released October 26th. I'm just so excited. So everything that I'm doing is really building the road to that, really getting out, talking to women, letting women. I mean, I have a lot of women clients, but this book, I'm so excited about it. Believe it or not, so I used to be in real estate for 20 years, and my daughter is a broker in 2 states. So I have a lot of female brokers and real estate women that follow me. And so, and that's kind of near and dear to me, real estate. And so really expanding on building things for women in real estate is really big this year for me.
Yeah.
Getting ready to open that up in the fall. Summertime is never a good time to start anything because people are like, I'm in Atlanta and it's a transplant town. Everybody moving, everybody traveling.
Moving in and out. Yeah.
They're moving in and out, but really, really zeroing in on the things that, the markets that I know that could really, really use. Because when I sit back, and most of my clients right now are real estate agents. So this is how I came up with that, just by default, right?
Yeah.
Women that are changing and transitioning and trying to and building. And those are the women that kind of gravitate to me. So I'm constantly building things and workbooks and modules and things to equip them and give them the things they need to, rather they're doing one-on-ones with me, or I try to put something in their hands to have to kind of move on.
Is Girl Read Your Bible a devotional? Is it a daily devotional, or what is?
Yes, it's part of Girl Read Your Bible. It's not a daily devotional. It is a book. When I tell you, oh my God, it deals with the culture. It really has taken Bible stories. A Bible is written over 3,000 years ago and brought it into 2026.
Okay, to
make it very relatable, very real life. So we can talk about something. We could talk about friendship. We could talk about body image. We could talk about BBLs. We could talk about anything.
Not BBLs.
BBLs. I have a chapter called BBL. And what I can do is show you a story in the Bible.
Yeah.
That so there's nothing new under the sun. It's God has given us, he has addressed it in some way or some form. And so what I do is I bring those stories to life with real life stuff.
Yeah.
And make it like so women can be like, wow, because that's how I fell in love with the word. I used to go to a church where the pastor preached Bible stories. And he has so much charisma. He used to preach these stories, and I used to be like, that's in the Bible. And I would go home after church and look at it and be like, I couldn't, because all I remember was them, thou, and shall. And, ain't nothing interested in the Bible. And then I started, he preached the Bible stories, and I fell in love with the word of God through Bible stories and things, making it real and making it relatable. And I think that, making the word relatable and then dealing with the things that the culture is dealing with and being able to bring those two things together. Like, I'm really excited about it. So that's the biggest thing that I'm working on.
Yes.
I am doing the daily journal with it, so it'll be together. But yeah, I am so. I'm like really excited about it.
I love it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Especially because I believe that ritual. That's why I asked if it was a devotional. I think that rituals are especially important for women, especially during these seasons of our lives, because it keeps you so grounded. So having a daily ritual, having a daily practice that you do, that is the self-care. So whether it's reading your word, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's both, a combination of things, those rituals are what are going to keep you so grounded and focused on what you're supposed to do. So you're not kind of untethered and then as a result moved by whatever is happening in your life or in the world.
And you know what? I think that as long as we're living, like you were talking about the worker bee, the builder, right? But at some point of your life, not just your life, your process. So your process and your process, you should be, it's part of the process. I think that it is blooming and building and birthing is all a part of becoming. And as long as every day we wake up, we are continuing to become. There's not an age, there's not a time that you get to and you be like, okay, I'm done. No, you woke up. Okay, I gotta. Okay, you just have to be able to identify what season you're in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Sometimes you're building and you're building. I was talking to my assistant today and I'm like, she was talking about all the projects. I said, well, I want to do quite a few projects. I said, but next year, I don't want to be doing projects. I want to be doing all of the things that we built this year. I just want to enjoy that season. But then you do it. And then at the end of the year, you come back and you say, okay, I got to start preparing for the next year. So you're constantly thinking and especially when you got ADHD like me, it's like, okay, I know you're moving on to the next thing. And that's a good thing. It's just sometimes we need help organizing all of that in our head and understanding and being able to identify the seasons. And so we can get the most out of when we're in our blooming, what we should be feeling, what we should be doing. You said you wrote something in that blooming season about sometimes it's just sitting back thinking about what you're thinking about and your thoughts and putting them where they need to be. And sometimes blooming is not about business. It's not about anybody else. It's about your soul. It's about your spirit. It's about making sure that you're being fed and that you have everything that you need to build and to birth, because we do know that there's a stamina that is required and that is needed to be able to go into those areas.
Yeah. And that's where and that's what the builder is, right? So the way that I think of it in that framework is that when you are blooming and the metacognition is happening, you're collecting data. You're collecting all the information.
Yeah.
And then when you get into your building season, your worker bee, that's when you're applying it. You're going from theory to application and really testing all of that data. And does it work? Does it work for you? Does it work for you in this season? And to do all of this, you have to be whole and really taking good care of yourself. What wellness practices, like I said, rituals, I think I'm a big fan, big proponent of rituals. What are your rituals to keep yourself whole and healthy so that you can do all of this big work that you're doing and pour into so many other women?
Well, the beautiful thing is I am at the point in my life, I am literally in my soft girl era. I'm not on the hustle no more. I'm a hustler. I come from that. That's one of the chapters in my book, The Sophisticated Hustler. But that, chasing the next thing, the next contract, the next job, the next opportunity. And so I'm no longer there. And so I'm in my soft girl era. And so I'm able to go to Pilates. You know what I'm saying? Take a day and just go buy me a pair of shoes if I want to. Go catch a matinee by myself in the middle of the day. Just what I'm going to do today. And I put that in between blooming, birthing, and blooming, building, and birthing. I put that in between there, and it keeps me grounded. Some days I don't feel like doing any of those things. Some days I just want to I don't want to do nothing today. I'm gonna, but that keeps me grounded. It keeps me, because it's a thing in the back of my head that tells me I'm always supposed to be doing something and building something and having something and showing up. And no, I don't.
Yes, that is a power move in my opinion. Her name escapes me, but the woman who runs the Nat Ministry. I love that work because she talks about the importance of rest. And I wish I'm going to have to tag her, but the importance of rest cannot be overstated, I think, because you're right, especially as women, especially as Black women, we are so tasked. Like we get all these things and to-dos and you got to do this, you got to show up this way, you got to show up here, you got to be this. And no, you don't.
And when you don't, then you feel like you're not doing enough or you're
not worthy. And the reality is you can do all of the tasks, you can get all the to-dos done, and it does not matter.
And it doesn't. Because at the end and so that's my ritual. My ritual is doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
When I want to do it. It sometimes it's like, man, I'm here. I'm in that season of my life and I need to enjoy it. And I do. I think that can be anybody's ritual wherever season you find yourself in.
Yeah.
It making sure you carve out time for yourself and choosing you.
Choose yourself, because I have talked to many women, right, over the course of my life, of my work, certainly in the work that I do now, And I love to ask questions. I'm a, journalist at heart, really. And so I'm very curious. And so I'd like to ask women in particular, what would you do different? Or what are you proud of? Things like that, especially the older women who I talk to. I have never once heard someone say, I wish I had been a better wife. Or I wish I had cooked more. Or I wish I had done the laundry faster. Or I wish I had, I've never heard a woman say she wished she had done more to-dos. Every time it's been, I wish I had centered myself more. I wish I had worked less. I wish I had poured into myself. I wish I had traveled by myself or done a solo trip once a year. I've never had a woman come back to me and say, I wish I had done more for others.
No. It's putting yourself in every step along the way. And that's the thing. We always think it's, choosing ourselves is somewhere in the future. Like once I do this, it's someone. No, it's now. It's wherever it is. I don't, wherever your situation is, choosing yourself has to become your ritual. That's what I'm going to do every day. I'm going to choose me.
Yes.
Every day. I'm choosing me.
If you are a mother of young children, it still is important.
You got to figure it out.
Because
let me tell you something. Not choosing you is going to hurt everybody else. Choosing you, your children need you to choose you, because in choosing you and taking that time, you become a better mother. You become a better wife, a better mate, a better friend, because you've been able to pour into yourself. Whether it's your daily walks, it's your rituals, whatever the things that you're doing to pour inside of you, it's really you're fueling up for everybody else still, but it's in a way where you get to at least enjoy the ride on your way to go pick up everybody.
Exactly. 2 weeks ago, I had a woman on the podcast and she shared what I love this perspective, is that what her children get, what her partner gets, what other people in her life get is from the saucer, never from the cup.
That's right.
So as long as your cup is full and running over, they get whatever they get from the saucer. And I love that. I love that so much, because we feel like we got to give everybody else what's in our cup. And next thing you know, it's empty. With nobody to pour back into it.
And it's so important. And it's unfortunate that some people would say it's easier said than done, especially if you're still raising kids and still trying to figure things out. And some people don't have the support system. I'm just saying, wherever your situation is, find that, carve out that. It could be that extra 30 minutes in the beginning of the day, the extra at the end of the day. It could be your lunch break, that you make that time totally about you, doing something for yourself. Whatever it is, carve it out. And then, of course, as life changes, then that time changes.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why when I talk about reclamation of your wellness, it's the little things that you do. One way that you can start with self-care and really pouring into yourself, considering yourself, is how you eat. How you nourish your body is so critical. When I was 45 years old, 45% body fat, over 218 pounds, inflamed, in pain, miserable, I was not taking care of myself. So that simple change, it's not simple, but that change of changing how I nourish my body allowed me to do everything else, and was the way that I got back to the reclamation of myself and of my wellness and my well-being.
And that's choosing you. It's like, I started this whole vitamin regimen, right? I do have vitamins on Sundays. I get them, put them in the little Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And I feel so good doing that, right? Because it's like, this is me trying to, put the things in my body that I need to put in it. And, I go to Pilates and I do all of these little bitty things. They're not big things, but just taking vitamins consistently every day, that's a big thing for me. The only thing consistent that I could tell a person before, I would have been like, the only thing consistent in my life is I'm gonna brush my teeth every day. Everything else is just all depends, but just creating little rituals and things that I'm so proud of myself for doing it. And that's why I said sometimes it could be something as small as, oh, guess what? I started taking a daily vitamin.
Yeah. I mean, if y'all are watching this, you see how good she look. We're gonna get the vitamin stuff. We're gonna figure out what she's taking.
Right. I mean, but it's just it's taking care of your skin, your ritual, just trying to get
Yes.
into
We're gonna
taking
get
care of your
the skin routine too, y'all, because she looks amazing. So we're gonna get
Thank
all.
you. But I'm just saying all of that. And so, but guess what? But that is part of rituals.
Yeah.
It could be, you know what? You have a self-care Sunday. You have a self-care, like I said, when you wake up in the morning, you get up, you do your face, that could just be your time to just be like, this 20 minutes is all about me.
Exactly. I really believe that rituals will save your life as a woman. And that's
I
why
love that.
I promote them so much, because it's, you said it's a little thing, but we stack them. We habit stack, we ritual stack. And then before you know it, you have a whole wellness practice.
And it's so good. And it has helped me, because I told you I just went through this big thing with really, really, really re-examining relationships and friendships in my life, which means that I have less now, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do more stuff for me and with me. And I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's such a great place. And now I understand my mom. When my mom, as she aged, she only had like one or two really, really good friends. Like, knew a lot of people, but I'm talking about like close. And now I get it because of the work, because I'm a person that carries people in my spirit. It's a lot of work. It's just a lot. And so I've relieved myself of that. And I'm okay. And I struggle with it in the beginning, but everybody can't go, everybody can. You want to take everybody. You tried to, that was the problem.
Right.
And so I'm so happy and free.
Yeah. I love that. Well, I'm proud of you. I have 3 little hot seat questions for you. Okay. And then we're going to learn how we can work with you, how we can get more and get your books and everything else. So what is something that you want women to normalize right now? If you could wave a magic wand, you would want women to normalize this in their lives.
I kind of said this already. I would like women to normalizing changing their mind.
Yes.
Normalize saying this no longer works for me.
I love that.
Not without a bunch of explanations and, dissertation. This no longer serves me.
Yes, that's it. Full stop, full sentence. All right. What does softness mean to you? You said you're in the soft girl era. I love that. What does softness look like, and what does it mean to you?
Well, in full transparency, part of my soft girl era came from the man in my life. When I finally got a man that allowed me to operate in my total feminine energy. I didn't have to be the leader. I didn't have to, I didn't have to worry. I don't have to try to figure it all out and have all the answers. And I can just be a girl.
Yes. Figure it out by yourself.
Right. And so it allows me, and I'm a single mom. I've always just had to be and so, yeah. And so I can't just sit here and be like, oh, I just came up with this. No. Right. That is what's the shift for me. Being with someone that gave me the space and the freedom to be a girl and not have to always be in charge and have all the answers and be anything.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. I wish that for us all who desire that.
Yes.
Okay. What is one thing that you wish women understood more about boundaries? That
boundaries is not a bad word. Boundaries is to protect you. This protection is, it is, it's, the people that like to violate you, the people that like to push your boundaries, those are the only people that have issues with boundaries.
Yes.
If you lack boundaries and you begin to have them, there's guilt that goes with them. But push past it, because there is a more free version of yourself, a more peaceful version of yourself, a happier version of yourself on the other side of any boundaries you put in place. And let me say this, boundaries usually have to start with the people closest to you. When I started implementing boundaries, place I had to start was with my daughter. And
I can.
so we're talking about, because we let the people we love just run rampant in our lives and just
Right, because we love them,
we
right?
love them. And
Yeah.
the people we love is where boundaries start.
Yes. I love that. That's such good advice. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Mhm.
So tell everybody how they can get your books, how they can work with you.
So really, it's good. Everything for me is on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, if you follow me, you can go into my profile. I have you can click it. You can do consultations with me for coaching. I have a 30-minute free call where we can just chat, get to know if we're a good fit for each other.
Yeah.
You can get that on my page. On my page, I'm constantly posting how you can buy my workbooks, know what's coming up next, where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, or just what I'm talking about. And so I am on all platforms, but Instagram really is the engine behind, what I'm doing, because it's just easier. But everything just kind of is connected. I am Dr. Shine. And on that, you can connect with me. Like I said, you can email me, I'll call you, and we'll go from there. My book, you on my Instagram and on all my platforms, you better know when my book is coming out, how you'll be able to get it, and all of that good stuff.
Thank you so much for this time and for sharing your expertise. Listen, I think it's safe to say that we all can learn from each other. We all have something to share from each other. And I'm so grateful that you came to share your perspective with us. I think your energy is infectious. It's very clear. And so I'm so glad that you came to
I'm so glad that you invited me. I'm so happy. I follow you, and I'm like, I love your candidate. It's like some of you guys get to do things that, like, you're my alter ego. Like, you say some of the things that I don't think I would get away with. Right. So it's almost like I'll be like, I'm gonna start messaging you, say, look, say this. You'll get away with it because, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you know what's funny is I don't get away with it. I just do it anyway, girl.
But I love that part. The fact that you don't care is what I'm talking about.
Right. Because you know what? It needs to be said. And that's
does. Oh my God. When I tell you, I love it when you're walking down the street and you're talking about stuff, and I'm like, yes, that's it.
I love women, and I love the women in my family, and I feel them all the time, and I feel them kind of like pushing me forward sometimes, like, girl, do and say the things that we couldn't do and say. And so
I love it. But we need that. And I like your boldness. And so what, people don't have to agree, and people don't have to that's the thing I don't like about social media. Everybody gets to have an opinion. So you got to take the good with the bad. But you know what? So what? You said it, and it's out there, and it's the truth. It's not.
Where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
Thank you so much. You can come back anytime you want.
Well, thank you. Well, I would love to come back, especially once the book is out. And I'll make sure we'll connect offline, but I want to just make sure. And I want to be there, anything you're doing, support. You said you have a word every year. So my word for this year has been collaboration.
I love it.
I am at another thing for my sophomore era is I don't want to do anything by myself.
Yes.
Nothing. I'm not interested in it. I rather have 5% of a billion than 100% of nothing. It's just,
I agree.
So to avail myself to something you're doing, to show up for you or be there, or we could do something together. I'm down for it. I don't feel like, oh, my company, my name, I could care less. I like helping women.
Because you know why? We go so much further together. We do.
And I just love it. And sometimes it's just combining our resources. We can reach more, do more. And so I'm really big on collaboration. And so I would love to be a part in helping you in whatever you're trying to do.
I love that. And thank you. And thank you for saying it on the podcast. Y'all heard her.
Yep, y'all heard me.
Thank you, Dr. Stephania. We will talk with you soon, and we can't wait for the book to come out.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye. And thank y'all for listening. I'm so grateful for everyone for stopping in and for sharing this time with us. If she or I say anything that resonated with you, if you have feedback for her or for me, if you have other guests and other topics you want us to cover and you want us to kind of bring onto the show, please, by all means, I love the feedback. Good, bad, and different. I'll take it all because it all helps me create more of what serves you. So until next time.